She was a good mother, good sister. He was a smart little boy.
That's how Angela Alfaro remembers her sister Shaquilla Watts and nephew Zay'vion, both killed in their Hot Springs apartment.
It's not the same without him.
It was December 2020. After Shaquilla and Zay'vion missed a family funeral, Shaquilla's sisters got concerned and left the ceremony early to find them.
I noticed her car was still there, her wallet was still in her car, and right then I knew something was wrong.
Angela called police to come check it out. Hot Springs violent crimes detective Mark Fallis was one of the first to arrive.
We went over there and found Shaquilla, a 21-year-old female, and her 5-year-old son had been murdered in their home.
Police determined Shaquilla and Zay'vion had been dead for 2 days before they were found. Years later, there's still no one in custody.
She was shot to death, and he was shot to his head. A gunshot to his head. 5 years old. Who would do that? Retaliation, anger, jealous.
Family and police both hanging on the hope that their current leads can help solve the case.
I would not consider this a pure cold case. Pure cold case is one where there's no leads, there's nowhere to go. There is information slowly trickling in on this case.
A year after their death, police revealed that Shaquilla and Zay'vion likely knew their killer.
To kill a child takes something really personal, or just pure evil.
Prompting Angela to think over the people in her sister's life.
Her biological baby daddy, he recently just came back into her life to, I guess, spend time with his son, and the boyfriend, he'd been in her life, but they had issues.
But Detective Fallis says sometimes to solve cases like this, you need to take a step back.
If you only focus on the one person, you can miss the big picture. You can miss, you may miss the actual killer. I've learned not to follow people, but follow evidence. You've got to have the evidence to back up who did it to be able to get a conviction in court, and you don't want to jump to conclusions on the front end.
That evidence includes Shaquilla's cell phone, originally sent off to another agency where it took months to finally unlock the data on it.
See who all she was talking to and things around this time, and so, tracking those people down and talking to people like that as well.
But that's not the only lead police have.
We have DNA evidence, we have fingerprint evidence, as well as some other evidence that I can't really disclose right now.
Police believe the evidence they don't share with the public will help connect a suspect to the crime. All of this information leading police to search for answers far away from Hot Springs.
I've actually traveled out of state several different times on this case, just because that little piece of information will come in and be like, hey, we need to check this out.
The distance is just one of the reasons Detective Fallis says closing Shaquilla and Zay'vion's case is taking so long.
Do you think solving this case could help other cases?
Yes. If you believe it could solve other cases, you also have to take the time to look at other cases.
But the family wants more to be done, desperate for closure.
This is my family. It's not your family, it's my family. It's frustrating. The only thing we can do is pray for hope.
And detectives hope someone will call with information and bring them closer to justice.
There are people out here who know what happened. They know the players involved. They know who did it. We're talking about a 21-year-old and her 5-year-old son in their home. Just call me.
As a family lives on without their loved ones,
a 5-year-old baby, 21-year-old young girl, trying to be a mother, trying to go to school for herself, to raise and provide for her child. What did you get out doing it?
Searching for answers.
It's been 2 years now. I don't want the case to go cold. I'm still gonna fight to the end.
These are Mother's Day pictures that he kind of forced me to. We're gonna take pictures, and I'm glad I did because that was actually part of the last month that we had.
Lakia Smith's house is filled with pictures of her family. These albums and some videos taken from a phone are all she has left of her son.
He loved to dance, and he'd do all kind of dances. He was just a happy person. Some call him goofy. He likes to laugh. He liked to play, have fun, make jokes.
Jody Loring was 18 years old, creative, curious. He cared for those around him.
When he see you kind of to yourself or sad, he would say, "Smile. The day will get better, I promise."
He had just graduated from Conway High School, became a new father, his world revolving around his 3-month-old son, Sincere, his future full of promise.
I mean, he just enjoyed that baby and life.
But everything changed on May 24th, 2018.
He was sitting in there with the baby, and he was just talking about life, and, I'm going to, I got a lot of things planned that I want to do, not knowing that it would be cut short.
It became the worst day of her life.
When I seen my son laying on the ground, that memory plays. It just rewinds itself and it just plays.
Lakia had gone to bed, and Jody left to go drop off his son at his girlfriend's house, the mother of his child. It was a normal routine as she got off work.
He left about 10, maybe 11. And like 12 o'clock, they called and they say that he had been shot. And I jumped out of the bed and I went down. I just collapsed.
There was a vehicle parked on the property there. There were several bullet holes through the driver's side window, the glass.
Jody was leaving his girlfriend's house on Donahue Avenue. He got in his car. That's when he was shot and killed, still parked in front of the house where his girlfriend and son were inside. Lieutenant Tom Kennedy investigated Jody's murder for a year.
It just makes it more tragic when they're young like that.
Like the detectives before him who worked Jody's case, he was not able to make an arrest, but they are still actively working to make sure this case doesn't go cold.
Detectives that have retired, they have all come here. We've sat right in this room, and they've come on their own time without getting paid just to, have we missed anything? Is there any other angle we can look at?
Lakia believes Jody was not the intended victim.
As far as I know, it was something that someone else did. And pretty much he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
However, when we asked Conway PD about this, they could not give us any information.
That is not something that I can disclose at this time. Jody Loring, everything I've seen about him, he was a very good kid. I feel horrible for his family, and I'd like to do my part to bring that to a closure.
What does that look like?
An arrest.
I just put on the front that I wanted justice for my son.
For now, Lakia keeps fighting for her son.
We do want justice, and I'm not going to stop until I get it.
Searcy, Arkansas, 1994. 20-year-old Jarrod Green was just starting out in life.
He was always just so funny and just keep you laughing all the time. He was just so funny.
Yeah.
And such a good boy.
So
he
smart.
really was a good kid.
And doing what siblings do best.
Our bedroom shared a wall, and I could hear him giggling in the other room or, aggravating me, listening to music too loud.
But Jarrod's mom and sister said he'd fallen in with the wrong crowd at school.
He'd had no idea what he was getting into, really. He just saw these other boys making that money.
We think he was probably transporting drugs.
As time went on, family says Jarrod wanted out, but couldn't.
Jarrod said that they would never let him pay them back, right? They'd never let him out of what he was trying to get out of.
Court documents show Jarrod owed $7,500 for drugs to a dealer.
He was really, really paranoid, and he told us that people were after him. He told us that he needed to get out of town, and we helped him. We, meaning my parents, helped him move out of the state.
A few weeks later, family says Jarrod got a call from a friend with good news. No one was looking for him anymore.
So he came home, and we were all relieved, thinking, oh yay, this horrible thing is over. He's back.
Until the night of September 30th, Jarrod had a meeting to settle his debt.
Another person that we've talked to said that he was actually crying because he was so scared to go meet with this person.
A friend told police that before the meeting, Jarrod made a stop, picking up his revolver.
There was something at some point between Jarrod and this person that scared him enough to where he thought he had to have some sort of protection.
Searcy police said Jarrod met with the drug dealer and was never seen again.
Another day went by and nothing. Nobody had seen him. We called everybody that we knew.
Days later, family says another person in the drug trade told them they saw Jarrod's car in the Walmart parking lot.
The windows were down, the sunroof was open, the keys were thrown up underneath the front seat, driver's seat floorboard.
Court records show someone initially told police they were offered $1,000 to, quote, get rid of Jarrod. According to the same court document, that same person said the drug dealer and his roommate grabbed Jarrod at Walmart and Jarrod had been, quote, done away with.
And we knew that he did not walk away from that car himself.
Investigators say 10 months after that, the dealer's roommate started bragging about being involved in Jarrod's disappearance.
Shortly, sometime after Jarrod went missing, this other person went missing as well.
Witness testimony described in court documents claimed the dealer later told the person he, quote, took care of it. The roommate was never seen again.
And that's suspicious to you?
Of course, yeah.
6 years later, investigators reported that a close friend of both Jarrod and the dealer killed himself, but not before telling his pastor that he knew about 2 separate murders.
We know that he had information about what happened to Jarrod, and he took his own life rather than share that information.
This all led to a warrant for the dealer's arrest for capital murder in 2017. But ultimately, prosecutors dropped the case. This happened after the source who said they heard the dealer's threats took it back, saying he lied. 2 other key factors: there was still no murder weapon and no body.
There was some evidence that was supposed to be there that didn't end up coming up.
Police would only get one chance to try this case, and the state wanted more time to find undeniable proof. They wanted to find Jarrod's body.
Finding his remains will corroborate what we're being told by witnesses.
Now, in 2023, they say they're getting close. The family and Searcy police are bringing in teams from out of state that specialize in this type of search.
There are 4 locations that the search teams will look at. It really gave us hope for the first time that we could find him.
But the details of where they'll look can't be shared just yet.
We don't want the suspect sitting there at his house watching Channel 11 while we're doing this story and say, oh, well, I didn't think about that. Maybe I need to go cover that up.
The Green family's love for Jarrod, keeping the search for justice alive.
Her perseverance behind looking for Jarrod and finding Jarrod and are his remains is kind of giving us a little life too as well, seeing that from her.
Hoping that someone will open up to close this case.
We're not looking to charge anybody with any drug crimes, but we know that there's at least one person out there that can give us exactly what we need to get Jarrod back to his family.
He was a human being, a much loved human being. And I just really, as a mother, need his remains. It's a horrible thing not to be able to bury your child.
Holding on to hope that after 28 years, they'll bring Jarrod home soon.
Every single day we think about him, every single day, and hope that today's gonna be the day. Today's gonna be the day we're gonna find him.
Monticello, an Arkansas hub for commerce, agriculture, and timber. But an unanswered question plagues this small town. Who killed Marquis Martin?
I'm left with not knowing who did it, why they did it, where they did it.
His mother, Lakeisha, and son, Marquis Jr., sit together, remembering the times they had with him.
Yes, that's my favorite picture. That's me, a baby.
Marquis was very outgoing, very outgoing. I would say he had a heart of gold.
Marquis was just 26 when he was killed. 3 years later, and his family is no closer to getting any answers.
I have nothing but just pictures, memories, and stuff like that.
At the beginning of 2020, Lakeisha said she felt something was wrong.
I just kept having anxiety attacks.
A couple weeks later, she found out her son was missing. The last place anyone saw him, the USA Murphy's gas station in Monticello.
You never see Marquis getting in the car or out the car, but you see him up at the window buying something.
To make matters worse, Lakeisha received a mysterious ransom text asking for money for her son's return.
And it was saying that, he was hurt really bad, that I had to give them $7,000 to get him and don't call the cops.
Lakeisha says she took the information to the police, but nothing ever came from it, and Marquis remained missing until a month later.
It just hit me, because I got up that morning with the work. I didn't think it was going to be that day.
Marquis was found dead in a creek in Wilmer. His cause of death, a gunshot to the head. To this day, there remains a memorial for Marquis, also known as Mac. His name painted across the rails, a teddy bear sits in the grass.
I know when I had my son. I know when my son was buried. But I don't know the date he died.
Even going back to 2020. I believe that the Arkansas State Police should have been the primary investigating agency at that time.
Drew County Sheriff Tim Nichols was elected at the beginning of this year. He moved quickly to try and revive the case with a new investigation, requesting Arkansas State Police to take over.
Public trust is everything. And if there's any questions about how you stand, then what are we doing? So if there were some questions, let's bring it to light.
State Police denied the request, but Sheriff Nichols says they are assisting alongside the FBI, all in hopes of finally getting answers.
We're going to work the best that we can with what we have. And if we can't, we're going to request other agencies to help us if we can.
Even though Marquis is gone, his life is not forgotten. His son sees him in the little things around him.
He's always with me.